Hey all, my name's Jonah, and this is a board game preview for the game Maps of Misterra, published by Sit Down Games, and designed by Matthew Bazu, Thomas Carriette, and Timothy DeCroy. In Maps of Misterra, you play as explorers who have discovered a mystical and unknown island. Your goal, of course, is to explore the island and complete your personal and hidden objectives while proposing a correct cartography of the island to earn maximum points. So this game is actually recommended for ages 10 plus. It plays 1 to 4 players, and yes, for all those who love to play games alone, it does actually feature a solo mode. It'll take you about 45 minutes to 60 minutes to play altogether. So let me jump in to telling you a little bit about setup and gameplay. To set up, place the central board representing the island on the table, and give each player a personal map they will use to transcribe their discoveries. Each turn, players choose 2 actions among these 3. Moving their explorer pawn on the central board, discovering new terrains close to your explorer pawn, choosing from 5 randomly drawn tiles, and claiming control of areas. A type of terrain on this central island must be explored twice before being validated. Thus, any unvalidated terrain types can actually change. You thought you saw grass? Well, you were mistaken. And then your personal map will no longer match the game board. You have to find the ideal balance between your personal objectives and a correct cartography of the island. So, the mechanics in this game are tile placement, hidden objectives, and exploration. So, during the game, you're going to have these presumption cards that actually give you tasks, or personally, I just call these cards the hidden objective cards. And there's a bunch of them in the game that you can choose from, and most of them are some sort of tile placement set that you're going to want to achieve. The main action during your turn is the mapping action, and this is where you take one of the sketch cards from the display and you place it on your personal board. Now, here's the key. You may only place these sketch cards in a location that your cartographer can see. So that's where moving your cartographer around the board strategically comes in really handy. So I feel like Billy Mays here, okay? But wait, there's more. Each different type of terrain tile you move has a different ability. So the lagoon tiles allow you to discard a sketch card from the display by just tucking it right back underneath the main deck. And then of course you can draw a new card to replace it. The jungle tiles prevent you from mapping, so your only option is actually just to claim on your turn, or of course just pass and do nothing. The mountain tiles allow you, your cartographer, to see actually one more space further orthogonally, which of course means now you can place your sketch cards one space further away on your personal player board. Each individual tile has a different effect if your cartographer meeple is actually standing on that tile at the beginning of your turn. The other option you're allowed to do on your turn is called the claim action. So instead of placing your sketch card on your personal board, you'll actually discard that sketch card and place one of your claim markers on the terrain tile that is confirmed, attempting to control a large group of the same type of terrain tile. The game's actually super interesting because on your turn you actually have 2 half days of expedition, which basically means that you're taking 2 back-to-back turns. So it does make it a little bit tricky to manage the validating of the tiles, especially if you're playing with more than 2 players, 3 players, or 4 players, and you place your cartographer on a spot where he can't see where the other folks in the game are actively placing tiles. So at the end of the game, you'll of course score points for how closely your personal parchment, your personal player board is to the actual island board, depending on what you validated or confirmed or what some other folks did for you. And of course, you're going to score those presumption cards, which are those end-game bonuses based on the sets of things that you create with the different tiles on the board. This game is highly anticipated and will actually be coming out in October of 2023, Maps of Misterra. We actually put this game on one of our lists of most anticipated of the year if you go check out that video for Tantrum House. So anyway, if you're interested in this game, you'll be able to pick that up at your friendly local game store or of course online. And if you were able to get your hands on a copy, you should actually let me know if I gave you an accurate description of the game, right? So, of course, if you want to leave feedback on this video, please do. And if you want to see more from us here at Tantrum House, or if there's a game that you haven't seen us review yet and you want to hear our thoughts, then just leave it in the comments. But until next time, we'll see you.